Okay. Well, welcome. Good morning. You know, when you come to CES and to see the latest in technology, it's really not strange to have a conference or even a part of the show floor devoted to toys, because after all, toys and technology really, they go hand in hand today. And when I was a little girl playing Barbies with my sisters, if I can remember way back then, Barbie really was just a fashion plate. She wasn't a career woman. She didn't go to work. She wasn't an athlete. And I'm not even sure she had a pin in her right foot. If she had a chip in her, it was because the dog took a bite out of her leg. Today, she's really an accomplished, high-tech, ever-evolving young woman of the 21st century. And that's really because Mattel has reinvented Barbies time and time again to keep up with this ever-changing world. And along the way, they've introduced different ways for girls to be able to play with Barbies. They've got Barbie.com, Barbie Girls, and all these ways to keep up with the way the play patterns change. As Robin said, the downturn in the economy has been difficult for industries across the board, but the toy industry, while it didn't have a great holiday, it does continue to grow and innovate. Where are there kids? Well, there are kids, there's always going to be toys. Grown-ups too, I think. And that's why it's important for the industry to evolve as children's play patterns change. They gravitate more towards the ever-evolving digital space, and companies must reevaluate and reinvent themselves in order to remain relevant in the lives of today's wired and very electronic kids. And Mattel is a company that's done just that. So here with me today in our little fireside chat is Chuck Scothon, Senior Vice President and General Manager of the Mattel Digital Network. And Chuck is heading up a new division at Mattel that will focus on taking Mattel brands beyond the physical toy and bringing that play experience into the digital space. So good morning.
Good morning, and thanks to everybody for attending this and kind of understanding where Mattel is taking the digital space. We're excited. We think it's a huge opportunity, as all of you obviously do in the digital world. And we'll spend a little bit of time this morning just really sharing a little bit of background and context, and most importantly, the vision for what we're kind of doing. So I think with that, we'll just start the Q&A.
Well, I have to ask you, Mattel is often referred to as the authority on play. So can you tell us a little bit about play and how it's evolved over these last few years?
Sure. One of the things that Mattel we like to say is that we don't play, we like to be the expert on play. And certainly it's hard to ever articulate that anybody is the expert, but I think when you look at the fact that we truly know kids, that we know kids of all ages, we know them around the globe. We probably speak to more kids than any other company in the world. When you look at it on an annualized basis, it's probably well over 100,000 a year. Between kids and moms understanding play. We truly understand the concept of play. Now, I think that as you look at that, I think one of the interesting things is that you have to kind of separate play patterns and play. And that's a little bit of the context around what Mattel's doing right now. So when you start to first look at toys, the fact is these are all toys that, some of us recognize, some of us that are probably a little older, from blocks to trucks to cars to dolls. And the fact is, those are still toys today. They may come in a slightly different form, but they're still toys. But what's interesting is kids are really evolving and changing, as we all know. And they now start to look at things like computers and cameras and iPods and phones as toys. Why? Because they're playing. There's been no shift. They're still playing. And play is a part of what they're doing. It's just they're defining toys much more broadly than a historical toy business has defined toys. And I think that's one of the big opportunities we have in the digital space, certainly at Mattel. Now, what's interesting is, while the play itself is changing and the vehicle that's delivering that play is changing, one of the things when you look at kids and recognize is that they're still playing with traditional forms. So girls still playing with dolls, still playing passion play or nurture. Boys are going to be into conflict and action probably as long as they're around, including adults. But what is changing is not only do they play with dolls themselves, but they also want to experience the same play patterns digitally. So one of the things we like to say is the play patterns haven't changed. They probably haven't changed for 50 or 100 years. But the vehicle that's delivering those play patterns is changing. And that's really what has driven us to kind of this new digital premise, because we really believe that we're at that tipping point. When you actually start to look at outside, and you really look at the digital space, and you look at everything from the free online sites to entertainment sites, that are more broadly defined, incredible partners, gaming and casual gaming sites, or virtual worlds. All of these are really fun. and they're simply delivered in various ways, shapes, and forms. And you start to draw down who's then working with those. And that's kids and parents, and you really start to get what is the heart of our new thought, and what we've announced yesterday and here today, which is the Mattel Digital Network.